Now from Atlanta News First Plus, this is Sports Tonight.
Welcome, everybody, here to Sports Tonight. I am solo dolo, just me. You get me all day. That's okay. You'll survive because I will give you what you need. Welcome to Sports Tonight. I'm sports producer Scott Pennyman. So, look, there's a few things I want to work to today. Look, we have there's a lot of things that have been on my mind lately in the world of sports. And obviously, we're in the middle, June in sports is such a special time, right? Because we're going to crown an NBA champion. That's so much, look. These NBA finals have been very interesting so far. So we got that. We have NFL OTAs, off-season workouts. We've had that. The Falcons have been hard at work trying to get that continuity together, that grinding in the summer as they get ready to embark on a very important 2024 season with their new quarterback, Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix Jr. backing him up. So that's one of the things we got going this summer. And look, the emergence of the WNBA as just a powerhouse. I mean, the Atlanta Dream doing their thing, just the WNBA as a whole. Look, it isn't often where we're sitting here in the middle of the summer and the WNBA has been like one of the most discussed topics in sports. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? But as crazy as it's been, this is exactly what the WNBA has asked for. This is tremendous what the WNBA has been able to do. I didn't expect it. Obviously, the Caitlin Clark effect, Angel Reese, people like that come to the league, and all of a sudden, there's all eyes on the WNBA, which I think is a great thing. All right, so first things first here. I have some thoughts about the NBA Finals. The Boston Celtics up 2-0. They'll head to Dallas for Game 3, and what's pretty clearly a must-win for the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, when you look at it, right? I mean, they can't go down 3-0 because in the NBA, quite simply, nobody has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit. So a couple thoughts about that. So when you look right now where the Celtics are at, I mean, it was my pick from the beginning of the season. From day one, I had the Boston Celtics as the NBA champion, and part of the reasons why are some of the reasons that you're seeing right now. When they acquired Drew Holiday, right? When they acquired Kristaps Porzingis, that gave the Celtics elements that they hadn't had in recent years. They didn't have those elements when they made the NBA Finals 2 years ago, right? When they lost to the Golden State Warriors, I thought maybe just talent-wise, maybe they had a better team than the Warriors did. But number one, they didn't have experience, right? And number two, they didn't have that third guy who you could depend on down low for points like they do have in Kristaps Porzingis. To me, when they acquired Porzingis, that changed the entire element of their team, the entire makeup. That made them, for me, that catapulted them from being a contender to an NBA championship level team. Now, they didn't just do that. Then they were pretty much gifted Drew Holiday from the Milwaukee Bucks, who Drew Holiday, remember, he was the missing ingredient on the Milwaukee Bucks championship team in 2021. Remember the Bucks for a couple years had trouble getting over the top. They went out and got Drew Holiday, and that pretty much made them into a championship team. Well, Drew Holiday is helping do that for the Boston Celtics as well because they're already having Porzingis and Tatum and Brown. They were already one of the best teams in the NBA. They were already a championship contender. Now you add Drew Holiday to that mix, a proven champion, a guy who knows how to win. He's been a key part of a championship team before. For me, that lifted the Celtics to being an NBA championship team. And so we're all on social media, right? We all love social media. I have a love-hate relationship with social media, kind of like most people, right? So these first few games, the Boston Celtics superstar, Jason Tatum, he's struggling from the field, right? I mean, his shot really hasn't been falling. So when you look at social media, there's all these things about, oh, well, Jason Tatum, I mean, he's I don't know why people think he's the best player on the Celtics. I mean, look at Jaylen Brown. He's really good. I mean, look at this person. I mean, Jason Tatum isn't their best player. Look, that's nonsense. All right. Jason Tatum Jason Tatum is the straw that stirs the Boston Celtics drink. Let me repeat that again. Jason Tatum is the straw that stirs the Boston Celtics drink. Let me tell you why. Nothing they do offensively is possible without Jason Tatum. So we look at these games and we see Drew Holiday having a really good game in game 2. We see Kristaps Porzingis having a really good game in game 1. And we go, look, those guys are shining more than Jason Tatum, right? What some people don't understand about professional basketball is superstars make those things possible. If the attention isn't on Jason Tatum, if Jason Tatum doesn't have 1, 2, or 3 guys hounding him, making sure that he doesn't have a huge game, it isn't possible for those role players to go off. Role players are able to do their thing because superstar players command so much attention. That's what being a superstar is. So last game, yes. Let me look up some of these numbers. So Jason Tatum last game, look, I mean, his shot was struggling. Make no mistake about it. Jason Tatum's shot from the field was on a struggle bus. It was on a struggle bus, and everybody else on that bus last name was Tatum, right? That's how bad he was struggling, right? So Jason Tatum in game 2, 18 points, 12 assists, 9 rebounds. So when you look at that, you're like, okay, well, you know, his shot wasn't falling. He didn't shoot very well from the field. What he did, if you truly watch the game, see, this is what tells apart right here. If you're just looking at the box score and you're saying Jason Tatum didn't play a good basketball game, to me, you're just one of those people who just look at box scores, right? If you're really paying attention to the game and watching the game, you saw the impact Jason Tatum had. From a playmaking standpoint, he would drive to the bucket, 2 or 3 guys would go with Tatum. He would dish it to an open teammate. Oftentimes it was Drew Holiday or Derek White or someone else, and they had nice, clean, open shots. You see, that's what superstars provide. If they didn't have Jason Tatum to be that superstar to get that sort of attention, those shots wouldn't be as open and as easy, and everything would be so much harder. That's what I think sometimes with superstars, they're so good at what they do, they become underappreciated. Because unless they're scoring 30 or 40 points, we sit around and we go, you know what, this guy isn't having a good game. He's no good. When really, I think what's underestimated is their ability to make everyone else better. That's why Jason Tatum is a superstar. And Jaylen Brown, he's an extremely good sidekick. I mean, he's kind of like he's not a number 2 option. He's a 1B. That's how good Jason Tatum is. And from a role player standpoint with Porzingis and Drew Holiday, there's no question that that's the best team in basketball. Like I said, I knew it from the start of the season. When I watched that team, they won, 64 games this year. There was no question in my mind when I watched this team play, they were the best team in basketball, period, piece by piece. And they play so well together. And that's when you watch the Celtics play basketball, they understand winning basketball. They don't care what nobody else on the outside is saying about nothing. They don't care about Jason Kidd trying to get into their heads and say, well, Jaylen Brown's, he's their best player. Look, Jason, we all know what you were trying to do. That was a vet move. You've played the game at a high level. You're a Hall of Fame basketball player. You're a really good coach. We all know what you were trying to do. You were trying to make Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown, you were trying to cause division there. You were trying to make Tatum go, you know what? No, I'm about to try to dominate myself. I'm going to prove I'm the star. Or you were trying to make Jaylen Brown go, you know what? Their coach called me the best player. I'm about to go out here and show why I'm the best player. We know what you were trying to do, Jason. It didn't work in game 2. It probably ain't going to work the rest of the series. The Boston Celtics are going to win this series. The question is just how many games. Look, I'm not saying that the Mavericks are dead yet. Look, obviously, Luka Doncic, one of the best players in basketball. Kyrie Irving, we've seen what he can do on this NBA final stage before. So I would be foolish to say that the Mavericks are done because we've seen NBA Finals Kyrie before. Look, I'm a Cleveland Cavaliers fan. I said that a bunch of times. I watch poetry in motion as Kyrie Irving back in 2016 outplayed Steph Curry in those NBA finals and hit one of the biggest shots in NBA history in that Game 7. So I would never count any team with Kyrie Irving on it out. That would be foolish on my part. But what I will say is they're in a lot of trouble. They're in a lot of trouble when you look at how the matchups are for the Mavericks. They've got some matchup disadvantages. They've got some issues here. So we'll see. Game 3 tomorrow. Obviously a must-win for the Mavericks. So we'll just all have to see how that goes. So I was out at OTAs today. Well, I guess you could say mandatory minicamp for the Falcons as they get ready to just disperse for the summer. They got some last-minute workouts in today. Today was kind of a real easy, laid-back practice for everybody. I mean, they were real easy. They don't want anybody banged up going into the summer. Coach Raheem Morris, after practice today, well, before practice today, kind of spoke of how he wanted guys to be, have their mind refreshed, their bodies refreshed. As they head into the summer, he wants everyone to get away, enjoy themselves, get away from football. So when you come back at the end of July, everyone's ready to go. One guy who surprisingly could be ready to go at the start of training camp is veteran Grady Jarrett. Remember, he hurt his knee last year against the Titans, missed the rest of the season. So he spoke today. He came out, he talked about his rehab and a lot of what he's going through here in the early going in his off season. He said he expects to be ready to go when training camp starts. Now, he did say that his training camp might look a little different than everybody else's training camp, but for the most part, he should be ready to participate come training camp, and that's a great thing. But you know what? Enough hearing from me. I want you to hear from the man himself, Grady Jarrett, today out in Flowery Branch with the Falcons, just talking about rehab. And when you hear it from his voice, he's very thankful to be back on that football field again, doing anything, and he's not taking any of it for granted.
Just really excited to just be back in the building. I feel like I ain't been up here in a minute, you know what I'm saying? So good to be back on the podium, but I'm excited to get back on the field, though. Well, back competing on the field.
You expect to be full go at the start of training camp? Or
That's my goal.
ramp up?
That's my goal. Obviously, with training camp there's always a ramp-up period. Mine may look a little different, but the bulk of it, my goal is to have most of my reps getting in and not too much special treatment to the side or nothing. So that's what I'm working for.
What has this whole recovery process been like for you, and has it tested your patience?
It's been a heck of a process. I think it's been tough, obviously, but it's been a new challenge for me, I'll say. Starting from, you go from surgery to now at this point, it's like you go from, you just got to take it, be patient. You're almost back crawling till you can walk, till you can jog, till you can sprint. And even, to be a professional athlete, top of my game, doing what I do, and to go back to learning how to essentially walk functionally, you know what I'm saying? And my first time having to go through that was a challenge and an eye-opener, only because, you can take the little things for granted. You know what I'm saying? Like going to the restroom without help, getting in and out of a car, and being put in that position, it really just gave me another fire, just to get back to just being functional as a man, being strong enough to protect your family and handle your business. But then, once you get back rolling, to be able to get back to the top of your game and pass where you left. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a heck of a journey. It still is. But the things that I've been through has made me better in all aspects of my life. And I'm just super grateful to be able to have the time to take a step back from football, see the game from a bird's eye view, something that I wouldn't have had the chance to do if I didn't get hurt, and I think that has helped me coming back as a player, and just knowing what it feels like to be outside and away from the facility a little bit. Some good and bad feelings. I got to spend more time with my son than I would have had the opportunity to But at the same time, it's not a good feeling being away from work, for me. And just knowing that there's so much more that I do want to accomplish, and physically being able to do that was tough to deal with. But it has, every day has just been just another force of motivation to just keep pushing and pushing. And I'm just proud of myself because, through this whole thing, I didn't allow myself to soak on what happened to me or to, fall into like a depression or whatever it may be, because I know I had work to do. Every day counted. You know what I'm saying? Every day counted. I was doing rehab day after surgery, and that's just trying to get your leg to move and somebody mobilizing your leg or something like that. I remember the first time I sat off the edge of a table, just like say if I'm sitting off the edge of this, I just hang my leg, felt like my leg was about to fall off, like just sitting there. And I couldn't believe that all my might, I couldn't pick my leg up. You know what I'm saying? And that's a week before I was starting a game to play the Titans. It's like that. And so just that perspective and drastic change will make me a better player going forward from now until the many years I got left to play.
What was that time when you were away from the game, looking on from that perspective, was like? Because I think it was Penix, when his injuries in college, he said that time away he learned so much about himself in the game just because you're in such a different position. What was that like, having to be forced to be there? Yeah,
man, it was, like you said, it was eye-opening for sure. You get to see the game, say if I'm attending Mercedes-Benz to watch the team play. I get to see the game from two perspectives. If I'm looking at it as a competitor analytically and, seeing some things teams may do, with schemes and this and that, but also as a fan, as a spectator, just the energy that a player may bring to a game, how important it is, the way you carry yourself around the field, the body language, how that transfers from a player to the team, or, what that gives off. Because when you're in it sometimes, we so locked in on the field, you know what I'm saying? And so, and like we in a little arena, to the fans, sometimes they can't understand how we get Zoom focused. But to be able to take my guard down and to be able to just see the whole scope of what's going on, I know when I'm back in that mode, what everybody's looking for, you know what I'm saying? And what, not only like from fans' perspective, but what my teammates see from me, you know what I'm saying? And because you can't see yourself in every aspect. We can watch film on ourselves, but it's like the in-between, If you mess up on a play, do you go around, pout around, do this and that, stay distant away from the team, or do something bad happen on the field and you run around moping, or are you picking up your team, getting everybody up ready, because that energy is real, and you know what I'm saying? So I always try to be cognizant of it as a player when I was playing, but when I got removed from it, I just saw how important the things were that's not on paper, you know what I'm saying, or not between the snap and the end of the play, and that also just gave me another perspective as a player. So I'm excited to get back out there, man. I'm excited to get back there, itching to get back out there, but being as smart as I can, having patience with myself, and but making the days count.
As a veteran, you've been through some coaching changes here. Is there anything that distinguishes Raheem for the transition that he's led thus far?
I just think he's a great leader of men, first and foremost. The way he's able to connect with every player on the roster, everybody in the building, and that comes from, the type of person that he is and also the experiences that he's had. And I just think it just screamed volume across the board, like just the type of man that he is, first and foremost. And I'm just excited that he got the opportunity to lead this team to a really, really high place where I feel like we're going to go. And so I just think, I'm just very grateful to have him here. And I believe that he's the right guy to get us where we want to be, and we want to play championship football around here. But that don't just come. That come with putting the work in and day out, and he'd be the first to tell you that. So super excited to play for Coach Morris, man, and I just know that he's gonna get the best out of everybody in the building, which is gonna lead to better results on the field, because even the people that the fans don't see, from the strength staff to community relations, to public relations, to everybody, our relationships matter, and the vibe matters, that we go out on the field like we all fighting for each other. Boats usually sink from the inside, and I think with Coach Morris leading the way, we got it. We got all the holes plugged up, doing what we need to do to go take this thing as far as we need to go.
Do you remember the emotions you felt when you got the news that you were going to need surgery?
Yeah, I was disappointed for sure because, even when I got hurt in the game, I walked off the field. Obviously, knew something was wrong. And a lot of people think I got hurt on the play I walked off the field. I got hurt the second play of the game, and I played like 2 more plays after that. And I only realized that I couldn't. My knee was messed up because as I tried to shed a block, it wasn't stable. So was able to limp off the field, got to the blue tent, and was able to. Once I got to the blue tent, I'm in there like walking around. I'm like doing air squats. I'm like, all right, I think I'm good. Like maybe a little hick. Like let's go. And the doc was like jumping in. Then doc checked me out. He's like, man, great. I can't let you go back out there, man. And I'm like, man, but he was like, let's just look at it. And so we took our time. I got home that night. Was sitting at the bar in the kitchen and just like flexing my leg up and down, like, this nice, ain't nothing, you know what I'm saying? Like, nice, whatever, maybe strain something. And then when I woke up that morning, I started getting a little more stiff. And by the time I got up to the facility to get an MRI, it's about a 45-minute drive from me to home. Oh, man, getting out that car, I'm like, oh, yeah. So getting serious, getting a little serious. So I go get the MRI, man. Expecting to hear some bad news, man. It confirmed, that I did have a tear to ACL, and but definitely was disappointing and just heartbreaking. But my initial heartbreak was, at the Tennessee game, man. I just knew in my heart it wasn't right because I know myself, and I haven't. I missed 2 games my whole career. Up to that point, and I know that I could play through pain, I could play through things, but when my body not able, I know something was wrong, and so definitely spent some time in the locker room with Danny Long, who's been the trainer, one of the trainers since I've been here, and Brandon Roof, a guy that works here that's been here since I've been here, and for them to be there with me in that moment allowed me to just really it meant a lot. And it was tough, but I'm definitely glad to be getting back, and I can't wait to get back on the field.
I feel like you're going to be asked to mentor some young kids. They brought in a lot of guys as rookies.
Yeah.
What's your expectation for that role, and how eager, or maybe not eager, I don't want to put words in your mouth, are you to do that?
I'm excited for it. To be in a position of leadership is something I don't take lightly. We brought in 3 D linemen to my room. Got Roop, Brandon, and what's the big boy name from Georgia, man? What's my boy name? Zion, yeah. Zion actually came out to my camp this past weekend. I want to shout him out, say thank you to kid. He got to meet a lot of kids, knew him from UGA, spent some time with them. He drove out to Conyers to come to my camp, and that meant a lot to me. But I'm excited to work with these guys, man, and I think they got a lot of talent, a lot of skill, and it's the reason why I think, they brought them here. And, just give them all, and I think my best leadership style is by example. So being back on the field and spending time with them on the field is going to probably be the best way to try to lead them in the right direction. Because, when I'm in the meeting rooms and stuff like that, but it's just different when because I could tell them how to do it, but until I show them how to do certain stuff. And these guys are great players on their own right. And whatever rookie, there's a learning curve, and that's just come through playing football. That's come through playing football, and so I'm excited to see them grow, see their careers take off, and I think they're going to help us, and whichever way coach see fit, and all the chips going to fall where they may, but definitely good starting points for all of them.
Grady, you've had to learn a lot about yourself over the last almost 10 years in the NFL. Learning about yourself from a different perspective, what was that like for you?
It was good. It was eye-opening for sure, and it was something that I feel like I might have just needed that in the moment. After playing the game for so long at a time, you could sometimes feel like you got things figured out, and just a reminder that nobody's invincible. Every day that you get to step on this field is a gift, and at any moment it can go, because I give my all to this game, physically training on the off season, whatever it may be, and then you know, I'm thinking I'm putting in all honesty, you know, I think I put in all my work, build my shield up enough to where it's strong enough to, you know, get me through every season. And here I am, no controls, small play, bump knee to knee, and I was out for the season, you know. And it just gave me a perspective that, like, you know, nobody invincible, and just every day is a gift. So don't let anything, you know, take your piece, take your moment from the opportunity that I have while I'm playing football. Whether I play, well, I'm at year 10 now, but whether I go, say, let's start, just whether a player plays 1 year, 2 years, or 15 to 20 years, every day is a blessing. You get to be able to play in the NFL is a privilege, you know. And
all right, I tell you what, that's a very deep Grady Jarrett. Just talking about just kind of everything. You could tell that he's very happy to be back with the team, because, you know, it's really hard to be away from the team. It's really hard to deal with injuries, you know. So, look, I say salute Grady Jarrett, and he's getting up there in age too. I mean, he's 30 years old. You know, who knows how much time he has left, right? So I think a lot of it is when you look at Grady, he's just so grateful about being back with the team, and it's hard not to feel good for everything he's kind of going through in rehab and everything like that. So certainly much respect to him and his recovery. So before we get out of here tonight, though, I want to hit one thing here. So the Atlanta Dream will play the Washington Mystics. Atlanta Dream against the Washington Mystics tonight on Peachtree Sports Network, Peachtree TV, 7:30 start. The Mystics have been on the struggle bus this year. They're not one of the very good teams in the league. So certainly the Atlanta Dream is expected to take care of business tonight. Let's hope they do. And, you know, sort of just keep their pretty good season rolling so far. And they got some things they have to work on, too, because the Dream are sort of, you know, not playing their best ball either, but we'll see what happens tonight. So real quick here with the WNBA, obviously one of the biggest stories all season long has been Caitlin Clark and kind of what she's going through, and everyone's been going crazy just thinking about, you know, talking about her from top to bottom because she's one of the most, you know, talked about topics in sports, right? I mean, just in all of sports. And so when you think about her being left off the Olympic team, that was a big story this last week. Everyone's talking about, you know, how do you leave Caitlin Clark off the Olympic team? And she's one of the most popular figures in college, in just basketball, period, right? And definitely as far as the NBA, how can you leave her off the Olympic team? Look, I think what we've seen so far from Caitlin Clark early in the season is that she's shown some flashes of potential, but she's not quite there yet. She's not quite ready. Yes, her popularity itself would be big for the game. Having her part of the Olympics would be huge just from a popularity standpoint. So it seems like common sense for her to be on the team, right? But when you look at her game right now, just her adjusting to the pro game, she ain't there yet. Her game ain't ready yet. She turns the ball over a lot when you look at her skill level. Just last night, going against Dejanay Carrington from the Connecticut Sun, only 10 points. I think she only had 2 assists. That was coming off a 30-point effort against the Mystics in the game before that. She's still very inconsistent as a young player. She's trying to figure out a league where established, polished, grown women are playing in. And oh, by the way, women who don't want to let a rookie come in and take things from them, right? So a lot of what she's been going through, she has one, you know, it's been a topic that's been talked about social media like crazy, because you have people on one side of the fence that love Caitlin and love what she's doing. Then you have people who are like, hey, she's got to take her lumps too. That's kind of where I'm at this point. I appreciate what she means as far as viewership, as far as the eyes she put on the WNBA, because let's be honest, most of us are sitting here talking about the WNBA right now because of Caitlin Clark and because of what she's been to the league and the breath of fresh air that people like her and Angel Reese have brought to the league. But with that being said, though, she also has to take her lumps like everybody else. She's no different than anybody else. She's no more special than anybody else. So she's got to deal with that. So we'll talk more about that. Thank you for watching Sports Tonight with just me, Scott Pennyman. Like I said, tonight, 7:30, Atlanta Dream versus Washington Mystics, Peachtree Sports Network, Peachtree TV. Stay tuned to watch that. It's gonna be a treat.